Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get your skate every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Hello, what's going on? Welcome to the Thursday KVJ After the Show podcast. Yeah, Thursday, bitches. Yeah, come on now. It's good, yeah. We can say what we want to say, which is a good thing. Now we can talk about Meet the Fockers all you want.
Go for it.
Fockers. Yeah, this is fun today. We got email on that. Said from the regular show, Jibber tried to say meet the, and he tried to say it slowly. And he's like, meet the Fockers. I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to fly. I said, I mean, if this look on your face, Kev, isn't priceless, this is the look of a man thinking to himself, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. He said it.
He said it.
Yeah, he said
All right.
it. Yeah, okay.
Well,
right.
that's why God put the dump button over there.
That's it. That's what we do.
My biggest fear, only because it happened at our old station, I remember where a bad word got over the air and the dump button was broke and it was a thing. Do you remember that?
That happened here.
Yeah.
Was that here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At our old station, it was never broke. Here, it'd been broke.
Yeah. It was.
You
I
can
couldn't
turn
believe
it. Okay, where the button is here, you can turn it off accidentally by bumping your chair into it. So
Yeah.
that's a flaw in the design.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally hit it with your chair by accident and turn it off.
It was a terrifying moment. We had a well-pronounced, I don't know what it was, over the air, and I'm like, okay, confidently reach over. I'm like, oh boy, that dump is not on.
It
I think it was a
didn't-
fuck. I think it was.
Yeah. It was a good one. It was a good one.
good
It was one that mattered. I'm like, well, I just did my last broadcast.
Yeah, it was like 7:30 in the morning. Oh,
It was
Yeah.
fun, guys.
Yeah, but we had a good run. That's what took us down.
That happened too during the Great 48, where we're doing all those songs, and some of the songs people were paying money to have on the air. We had to rip them from the internet because we don't have access to them. So Denny's is on the fly, and someone wanted this weird, obscure song, and Kevin just came back. It was right when Kevin came back, like at 11 o'clock at night, and Denny's let a song go on, or we all did. It wasn't Denny's fault. It had a fuck in there, and at the time, Kevin walked into some weird massage thing. So Kevin walks in there, and as the fuck is going over the air, he's getting a massage by somebody, and you hear me run in and go, oh my gosh, an F-bomb just went over the air.
Yeah, I remember my thing. I'm like, going, Kev, you're always so uptight. I'm like, just relax, have some fun. So I finally relaxed and had some fun for a change, and the fuck goes out over the show.
I mean, it was.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna stop relaxing.
I think it was more like than one, too. I think it was just, I was like, fuck
it was a
this,
few.
fuck that,
Yeah.
fuck up.
See what happens when you relax, Kev.
It was like 12 o'clock on RMF.
Oh.
We were panicking in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough.
Yeah. Well, luckily, here we are in the digital world. We can do whatever we want to do. We can say what we want to say.
That's right.
Yeah, just like the song says.
Fuck it.
Yeah. One less thing to worry about. Let me see some of the stuff going down here today. Got a couple of bonus things definitely wanted to mention to you all that I thought was interesting here that we didn't get to on the regular show. One of those things had to do with a couple of quick notes in the news. Didn't get to mention this, but did you see where Jeff Bezos added $13 billion to his fortune on Monday?
Oh,
That
yes.
is the largest single-day jump for an individual ever.
Wow.
$13 billion. He made that in a day.
What'd he do?
I don't know. Probably.
Did they have some special on Amazon?
All I know is people were mad on social media about it. The people are struggling, and this guy is getting. I was going to say the F word again, but I'm trying to reel back my F bombs.
You're on a roll.
I know. I keep on getting a few notes from people. Stop swearing.
Well, that was something that I had told you about yesterday was the wealth gap. And the guy who in 2012 wrote the report saying that, he studied all the way back to the 1700s and found that every 50 years there seemed to be an upheaval, and it typically happens as the growth spreads in the wealth gap between the richest of a society and the poorest, because there is resentment, there are issues. When the middle class starts to disappear, that's when you start to have problems. And he started to notice a trend. And in 2012, he wrote, I think 2020 is going to be a bad year.
So he wrote this back in 2012?
8 years ago. Yeah, and that's why people are pulling it out now and saying, that's an interesting theory. Some people are saying, I just got lucky, or there's no truth to his theory, but it is rather interesting, and the wealth gap is growing. That is the one thing that's happened during this pandemic. Thought, probably the rich people are going to take in the shorts, but actually they've increased their wealth. I saw that of the 52 or whatever it is billionaires in Florida, they've added $15.5 billion to their overall wealth in the time since the pandemic started, with, the unemployments and businesses going out and the such. So, people do get resentful, and then you have issues. The reason why Bezos made the money is Amazon.com shares surged 7.9%. That's the most since December 2018. Shopping trends are up, and they're now up 73% this year. And Amazon has built a structure that was just made for a pandemic. So
it was, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
That Bezos made it easy.
Well, and it's obvious that he's the one that launched the coronavirus now.
Everyone's talking about it, Virginia.
I mean, it's obvious.
Two things are obvious. One, he launched the coronavirus, and two, he's morphing into Pitbull.
Yeah. Can Pitbull sue him for look infringement?
If you steal my look, I think I should be able to sue you.
And he truly is Mr. Worldwide. I mean,
He is.
Pitbull, I know you try to claim that, but I'm sorry. Jeff Bezos could buy the world.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give to Bezos. He's doing great. Restaurants not doing great. Talked a little bit about this yesterday, about some changes that you're going to see because of disease and the pandemic, and how it's going to be changing some restaurants. They're going to be, I think, probably the headline to look at. They're going to try to reduce multi-touch surfaces.
Yeah, anything
really,
where you're...
And that makes sense, and that is the headline. They say that'll probably last afterwards, and so it is, that part is what it is, and that should happen anyway.
I get it, because there are some touch screens, and there's some places that I like that I got to touch the screen on, and it is a little skeevy because you can see fingerprints, you can see smudges. Sometimes there's food on there.
Yeah.
It's gross.
It is.
It is.
He's
it
right.
Is. And people are like, well, that's what we need to boost up our immune systems and blah, blah, blah. There are other ways to get germs. Let me just get it other ways other than the ones that are so gross.
Yeah, can I hook up with somebody instead?
Right, yeah. I just, you know what? Every fifth day, I'll kiss a random stranger.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's just do it that way. That's less skeezy than some of these touchscreens. A new report from Yelp says that over 26,000 restaurants in the U.S. have closed during the outbreak, and more than 15,000 of them for good.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw a few more places that are claiming bankruptcy, that they're going out.
Yeah, it's changing the game.
What was scary too about the article I was reading, they had I forget what two it was. It wasn't anything that was affecting me, so I kind of forget it. But they had on deck a lot of other places that are scared that this is going to go on longer because they could be fucked.
There's probably not many food places that aren't that are, like Bezos was like, hey, pandemic, bring it on. Great for us.
You're right. Some have flourished and some are dying.
Well, I think about, okay, if you're a local mom and pop restaurant, you're probably doing not very good right now, right?
Even if you're killing it, you're still not doing as well as you ever did.
Even with delivery and all that, exactly. That's what I want to know. What kind of volume are you doing if you're just doing delivery? How do you make your money, I wonder?
I don't think you can, because think about it. I mean, you've got this freestanding store. It's a space that you pay per square foot on, and normally you would fill it with people, and you would still be doing takeout. But now you have no people. Now you have it's only takeout, and people are just eating at home more.
Yeah, the American attitude changed. The less expendable income. When you get somebody like in our family gets laid off, you change your lifestyle, and
we're having rice and beans at home. I'm cooking it in a big pot because I can do it for $10, as opposed to us getting takeout, which is going to cost me $50.
I can't believe how much money I have saved in the last 3 weeks because I've barely been doing takeout. I've been doing it a little bit, but not much. It's you're right. Making food at home, you do save some money.
Yeah, you do.
Save some money.
It's true, and it sucks because you don't want to see these restaurants go away, but if more than half of restaurants that closed are never coming back, that's scary.
And sad because there's a lot of restaurants that I love that were on that list.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Somebody that is also apparently doing pretty well, not necessarily as well as Bezos, but John Bon Jovi. He just swapped mansions on Palm Beach, and he upgraded. He put a $20 million mansion on the market and just bought down a $43 million one.
Oh, my.
So he upgraded into the point where when you do something like that, I'm wondering if that's not a John Bon Jovi move to be in Palm Beach more. Because why would you double the cost on your mansion and you're 30 years removed from living on a prayer?
What's that one song? This one goes out and out a half all
Broken hearted.
Oh,
yeah. That was their last hit, and that was It's My Life. That was 2000.
It's My Life. I'll get hate for that. I'm sorry.
But that was their last top 40 hit, I believe, and that was 2000.
Doesn't he have like kids and stuff and a wife and like all that?
Yeah, I think
Maybe
so.
he upgraded his house because everybody's living with him.
Yeah.
I know a lot of families that have done that. Like even the adult kids have all moved back home.
Were you at all a Bon Jovi fan? Do you like his music? Or
Yeah. When he did the Slippery When Wet, I was a massive fan. I really liked him because I remember his first album. He had a song called Runaway. She's a little runaway. Dun, dun, dun. It was a good little tune. So I like some Bon Jovi. Really love Living on a Prayer. I was really into that whole Slippery When Wet album. Big time into that. Then they got real cheese dicky after that. And
they got a
then
little soccer momish, too.
Yeah, and then they lost me after that. Hard Edge Kev just didn't like his Bon Jovi as much. The album New Jersey I was okay with. I had Bad Medicine and some of those, but then I kind of started to be like, I'm not sure I love it as much. And then by the time they did the album after that, I'm like, I don't know.
There's so many popular artists out there that I've never really explored. I mean, I think that that's for a lot of people, but I mean, when have you ever gone through a few Bon Jovi albums? Since 1986? Probably never, right?
And I won't.
Yeah, sometimes you just know I'm not going to like it. And why bother?
I mean, he seems awesome. I like the fact that he's local. But, yeah, I mean, that ship has sailed.
I hear you. It just my point is there's a lot of music to explore that you just don't even think of.
You're right.
There is, and there's some where you're like, why do I not listen to this more often? And I got a suggestion for you if you haven't. Do a deeper dive into Abba. I know we're talking way old of an artist here, but, because my father-in-law's been over more because of the pandemic, we'll play a lot of the modern stuff, but then after a while, we got to throw him a bone. And so we'll put on some older pop-pop music, hits from the 60s, 70s, and Abba comes up a good bit. And so in that, I'm like, wow, I forgot.
Abba is
from
awesome.
Take a Chance on Me. I mean, Dancing Queen is the one that's still out there, but I mean, that they've got Super Trooper, all these songs that you're like, my gosh, these are just very good, well-crafted pop songs.
There's nothing wrong with listening to the vintage shit. There's a lot of great music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s. I think a lot of people are still into that stuff. There's a lot of great stuff that came out of those decades.
Funny thing about it is my kids know Mamma Mia, the musical, and they thought all those songs were written for the musical. They're like, how this band totally ripped off the musical. And I'm like,
no.
Children, sit around, let's talk.
The musical was written based on the music of Abba.
Right. They thought, like, how dare this band? How
Kevin,
blatant is that?
Kids are dumb.
Oh.
I tell
Virginia,
mine
don't
all
get
the
me
time.
started. Yeah. Just to let you know, if you do like ABBA, you know who they are. They were going to do a reunion this year, and they pushed that back to the year 2021. But the cool thing, when they do come back next year, they've put together 5 new songs. ABBA's recorded 5 brand new songs.
At the ripe age of 80.
I know. Which that's why I'm like, is there any chance they got anything left in the tank?
Yeah, there are some artists that are true artists that can still do it, man.
They've not released an album in nearly 40 years.
Wow.
They did have 3 unreleased tracks in 93 and 94, but this will be the first time you've got brand new crafted music. And is it going to work or not? And I got to check it out because my father-in-law was telling me, he's like, it's a fascinating story because it was two married couples.
Yep.
That were in it, how they found each other, then when they split up, and the songs are like The Winner Takes It All, and they're almost writing songs about their breakups. And so knowing the internal pain, I'd love to delve deep into a documentary about that because in the late 70s, they were just crushing them. I mean, one song after another. If you listen to Abba Gold, it's their greatest hits. It's pretty amazing, the songs that are on there.
Lindsey Buckingham and Christy McVie from Fleetwood Mac did an album together a couple years ago, so it's pretty darn new. And I was blown away by how great it sounded. It sounded like a Fleetwood Mac album.
Really?
It was fantastic. They did not sound old. They didn't sound like they were struggling. The songwriting was there. I thought it was fantastic. So some people can keep it together.
Yeah. So, that makes you hopeful that maybe talented people. I think the Stones still, I think some of those bands still do good stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the Stones still, before Corona, were touring.
Dude, look at U2. U2 is not a young band. They're old as fuck, U2. And they have a massive, just a loyal audience. Whatever they do, their audience loves it.
And they've been cranking out respectable music into the mid-2000s. I think about 2005. It's been about 15 years since they really had anything.
It all went south when Bono made us listen to his music in the iPod. People turned on Bono.
That was kind of a tipping point.
It was the automatic download that nobody wanted.
Even with him trying to, get a world peace, people are like, no, fuck this, Bono. We don't want your shit in our iPod.
And I still can't delete it.
I deleted it finally.
Yeah, it really did go south after that. Got a cheap beer trick for you if you're going this route. They say that apparently you can make cheap beer taste better by simply dropping a pickle in it.
What?
This sounds like some bullshit.
Now, this is if you like pickles. If you don't, if you hate the taste of pickles, this isn't for you. But if you do like the taste of pickles, I guess listen up. They say that pickles go well with beer just like other salty foods like chips, pretzels, and fries. I will tell you, I could see there being something to this. Pickles, I, for instance, put a little bit of pickle juice a lot of times, maybe in a Bloody Mary or something like that. Sometimes it is good. It does pick it up if you like and I do like pickles. I'll sometimes salt up a crappy beer, putting a little bit of salt in it. The sodium, it reacts with it. It does make it taste a little bit better, a little bit fresher. And they say that you just want to use a big enough glass because the pickle will make it foam up a little bit. Because, when the sodium hits it, it reacts with the beer.
You have to suck that pickle.
I like pickles. I did a few of those pickleback shots before. Those things are terrible. Oh my gosh.
It's intense.
It's intense.
Because you do a shot of whiskey and then you do a shot of pickle juice and it's like, whoa.
Nobody likes that bullshit, right?
My girlfriend does.
Does she like it or does she like the idea of it? Because it's a thing. I get
that bitch loves it.
Yeah, I guess some people just love pickle.
She loves a pickle. They call it a pickleback.
Yeah, I do. I love pickles. A certain kind of pickle, but not when I'm...
Yeah.
I feel like you're just drinking a hangover.
It tastes like regret.
Doesn't it?
It's an idea. Maybe
it's an idea.
Yeah, maybe try it out.
I would try that. I would put a pickle in a beer just to see what the hell. What else do I have to do?
I can see you getting down on a pickle, like a big, thick pickle.
Why not?
I'm not being creepy. I know how you take down a dog. I've seen you take down a hot dog. It's nauseating.
No one asked you to look.
Funny enough, it was hard to not look. I couldn't turn away.
Well, you can't say I'm not fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Got some emails that came in here. One on the vasectomy subject that we had from yesterday. They said, I got this is a story about the husband who had a vasectomy without speaking to his wife about it. And she wanted to have a baby girl and sounded like he was kind of done with the baby thing and he'd made the choice that I'm not going to do it. Said, I got a story about vasectomy along those lines. A friend of mine got a vasectomy without telling his girlfriend. And at the time, the waiting period at the vasectomy was a minimum of 6 weeks. So he waited 6 weeks for he and his girl to get it on, and she got pregnant.
Oh.
So he's like, okay, well, I did everything right. I got the vasectomy. I waited the 6 weeks before having sex. This is odd. Well, as his girlfriend gives birth, it's like, that baby does not look like me. So he refused to sign the birth certificate. Then he said, we're doing a paternity test first. Did it, found out she cheated on him.
A it was another man's baby.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, shit.
That's some mopo shit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Girl, you got caught.
Says years later, she saw him in a restaurant and walked up to him and started pouring out her heart to him, saying how sorry she was for what she did, how she was drunk when she cheated on him, and it was the only time she'd ever cheated on him, and she was so sorry she never told him, and that she had never gotten over him, and how much she loved him, and she's just crying her heart out, and she said, please, please, please forgive me. And he just looked at her and he said, who are you? And then walked off.
Damn. That's cold.
Well, it was cold what she did too now.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's just
Hurt
it.
people hurt people.
It just takes one time to fuck everything up.
Yeah, one bad decision, huh?
One bad decision.
Wear them rubbers, bird.
Oh, well, I mean, there's no Jimmy hats to be needed right now. So.
A little thought on helicopter parenting here from anonymous email. Said I got a question about this. Now, I'm not saying that V is a helicopter parent, but she's at least helicopter parent light. And we have a close family friend who is a complete helicopter parent to her daughter. She's got the whole Life 60 app on the girl. She's got to do telephone check-ins, all this kind of stuff. Can't go anywhere without her mom knowing about it. Her mom has to approve the friends. She has to give reports when she returns home about what she did. Now, we're kind of the opposite with our daughter. We got like an open relationship. We treat her kind of like she's a mini adult. She's got a lot of freedom. I mean, there is discipline, but there's, so much freedom that there's no need to lie about where you've been or what you're doing. So here's what we found out during this coronavirus. Our friend's daughter has been coming over to her house a lot, and my wife found out that this girl is sexually active, and her mom has no idea. She's been doing a lot of third base stuff at school, but her mom thinks that because she's a helicopter parent that her daughter is a virgin and pure. And ours is just completely wild because of the freedoms that we allow her to have. But our daughter has never had a boyfriend and is open about when she likes somebody and asks for advice. Now I know this mom would be devastated to find this out because about her daughter. Should we tell her? And Virginia, how would you feel if despite all your good involvement and intentions with your daughter, she had a secret life behind your back?
Before you answer, I got to defend Virginia. Virginia is not a helicopter parent. I'm sorry. I was raised by a helicopter parent. It's not even close. Because she wants to know where her daughter is. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, the Life 360 app is great. I think every parent should have that on their phone so they can just keep up with what their kid is up to. If you don't care, you're not doing a good job as a parent. I think somewhere in the middle between how you act and how your friend acts is probably the right way to do it, and that's where I try to live. I probably do lean a little bit more towards helicopter, and I would be shocked if I found out, Mags was sexually active. I would just be shocked because I don't think she is. But we don't really know. My parents didn't know my life. I lived a secret life from the time I was 15 on.
Every kid and every family is going to be different. You could do everything right and be a helicopter parent or not be a helicopter parent. And some kids are going to lose their virginity and get sexual way earlier than others. It just, sometimes there's not a rhyme or reason.
It's luck of the draw.
You could come from I'm just looking at my own family. We had all kinds of different people in my family, and everybody kind of just, they were raised by the same parents, but they just did things a little bit differently. You can't say because you raise your kid open and you guys are honest and you know everything about your kid that you really know everything about your kid.
Yeah.
And you could be the helicopter parent, and you could be doing all kinds of shit. It's going to be different for every kid.
It really is. And I think all you can do as a parent is stay involved, stay actively interested in talking to your kid about what they're doing, about what they're going through, and try to be there for them as much as you can. Not so much yelling at them, but guiding them and steering them. And, that's what you need to do as a parent. If you're not asking where your kid is and what they're up to and who they're hanging out with, I don't think you're doing a good job. Mm-hmm. But, like Mags, I looked on the Life 360 app. I do this every morning. So when I wake up, I go on the Life 360 app because, I go to bed around 9 o'clock. And Mags doesn't go to bed till usually around midnight. So between 9 and midnight, she's kind of able to do whatever she wants in the neighborhood within reason. And I looked on the Life 360 app. She was riding around with her little girlfriend in the neighborhood on the golf cart until 11:45. But I can see exactly where she was. She was in the neighborhood. They went over here. They went over there. They were hot dogging on the golf course itself, which I'm a big fan of. I mean, I can see what they did, and I'm okay with it because she's in the neighborhood. She's being safe.
Yeah.
But she's still allowed to have freedoms and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just know that sometimes if you do give, the one email that just said you give your daughter freedom and she doesn't do anything, out of, she doesn't get out of line, and that's great. But I could also see you giving a kid a lot of freedom, and they fucking totally take advantage of that. And that is exactly what happened in our family. One kid totally followed the rules, the other really,
did not.
And even if I think you're totally open with your kids and you allow that there's still some stuff I'm sure they're just holding back on that they're not telling you because the dynamic is different, and they, still want you to think the best of them. And so, I'm sure they're not just pouring their heart out with every thought and emotion that comes to them and experience they have.
I'm sure my parents didn't think I was getting hangies from my first girlfriend. I was.
Yeah.
And I don't think they thought that.
Yeah.
They thought I was young and innocent, but I was getting hangies.
Something I've discovered in the past few years, through few months, Mags got her permit. Her birthday was in May. She turned 15. And so she likes to practice driving. So I have to, ride shotgun while she's practicing. This has been a really good time for me to bond and talk to her and get information from her and give her little life lessons and tell her things. And this has been wonderful for us because it's captivity. She can't go anywhere. I can't go anywhere, and all we can do is talk.
I think the pandemic's been good for a lot of families for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you love your family, but if you hate your family, it's been terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't want anyone to think I love my family.
Somebody texted in, they want to know how Mags' beer pong table is going. I saw the video from yesterday.
So I have to question her. I haven't questioned her yet. It's still in the same state that it was the picture that I posted yesterday. It still looks like that. So that's going to be part 2. I'm going to question her.
Yeah, she had just asked to be able to paint a table that you have.
Yeah,
and
we had a folding table.
Yeah, and you're like, that's fine because, we put tablecloths over it, whatnot. And so you go and you find this table and it's taped off into sections. And then when you do a closer inspection, there are circles that are drawn down there in the exact formation on each side of the table you would do for beer pong.
Mags playing beer pong? Mags ain't drinking.
I don't think Mags is drinking.
Would she really be that blatant? I mean, that's thumbing her fucking nose.
She's
in
15 going on to 16, and you were what age when you first started dabbling with a little bit of booze?
I was just about to turn 19.
Okay. We and Logan, we were full on when we were 15 getting into 16. That's when we were getting into the liquor cabinets.
I was a late bloomer, though. I mean,
Yeah.
so many of my friends were drinking, smoking, they were doing it all.
Yeah. I think 8th going into 9th grade. What grade is Mags in?
Mags is 9th going into 10th.
Okay, yeah.
You're in the heart of it, man. That's
Yeah.
when people were doing adult shit.
That's when they're getting into the
Definitely,
sauce.
definitely.
They're getting into everything. They're getting into everything at 10th grade. Come on, man.
I notice everything. I'm a stickler for detail. And I don't think her or any of her friends have gotten into any of my stash yet. Nothing's moved. And there's plenty of opportunity.
I got away with it until I try to get cute and be funny, and I end up taking all the frozen food out of my freezer, and I put it on top of my body, on top of our dinner table, and I lay with all this. And my dad woke me up. He was like, yeah, your mom's not real happy with you. I'm like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah.
That is bizarre.
Why? I was used to making my friends laugh, and I was back from college, and my parents didn't think that was funny.
So the question was about the helicopter mom. Should she be notified that her daughter is, going to third base and is doing some sexual things so that maybe she can address it and talk with her about it? If you were a parent and were privy to this information, would you get involved?
No.
It all depends on who my friend is and how close we are. I mean, if it's someone if it was a Denny's or a Bigfoot and anything involving their kids and they're under the age of 18, there's no way I'm not going to get involved as a friend and let them know what the fuck's going on with their daughter. Totally doing it.
Yeah, if you were super close, maybe I would mention something. If the kid,
It doesn't sound like from this email they're super close.
no.
In fact, it sounds like the one mom is a little judgy of the mom that wrote into us. And if you're looking me up and down and judging me, I'm not going to do you no favors and help you out in your situation. I'm just going to sit over here with the popcorn and watch.
Yeah. I don't think I would say anything based on where they are, unless the kid was doing something that they could, harm themselves. If there were
Sure.
drugs involved, if there was a weapon involved,
Sure.
then I'd be like, hey, you need to know your kid's loaded with cocaine and also is packing a 9.
Yes, definitely, if it's that.
Yeah, if it's that.
And it does depend, like what you said, Bird. How close am I? If I'm not close, I'm not saying nothing.
And I would not get involved. I wouldn't say anything unless it was someone on the level of a Denny's in my life.
Right.
That's the only people I would ever get involved because they're my best friends, and I feel like that's family. You should be able to talk to your family and your best friends about things.
Well, when you have kids, like, a lot of other parents because they're dropping off kids or you're dropping off kids. Like, we all the parents know each other, but we don't know each other. We're only friends because our kids are this commonality. These are not people that, I've known for many years that I'm thick and thin, that they're fringe.
Well, there's even people that I would consider somewhat close of a person that I wouldn't even get involved in. It's a small circle.
It'd have to be a best
Yeah.
friend for me to say, your daughter's a hoe.
Family. When did the Kevin Ralston first turn sexual? Do you remember? Were you?
Yeah, I think it was maybe 9th going into 10th grade.
So that was the first time you got like a hand-G or anything?
No,
I'm talking about any kind. What was your first experience, sexual stuff that was not just making out?
Anything sexual?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like 8th grade.
Okay, that seems about right because that was the same grade for me, 8th grade.
Yeah.
I think mine was the summer, 6th grade going into 7th grade.
Damn.
We were playing hide and go seek, and in New Orleans, there's these big storm drains. So you can actually go like hide in a storm drain when it's like, not full of water.
Yeah.
And so we were playing hide and seek, and this boy and I were down there, and he wanted to give me a kiss, and I was like, all right, let's do this.
Okay.
And so he kissed me, and I remember the whole rest of the day, I thought I was pregnant.
Well, yeah, but
boy.
that's innocent. That's not your first, that's innocent. Like you're thinking like the Ralston over here.
That was the first action I remember specifically.
You were 13?
What's 6 going into 7th? What is that?
I think that's 13.
Okay.
12, 13.
Yeah, I thought I was pregnant. I was like, oh, well, I got to go tell my parents I'm pregnant.
Did you know that the kiss was going to happen? Because I was in 8th grade, and
I did not.
I was dating a 10th grader who had a boyfriend, and who had a boy. They broke up, but she was dating an older guy, and my buddy was dating her friend. So that's how I met her, and I did not know what the shit I was doing. And we had gone out on like 4 dates, and I had not pulled the trigger on kissing her yet, and she kept on asking, "So why won't he kiss me? Why won't he kiss me?" And the pressure
He's scared of you.
I was, man. I did not know what I was doing. You're afraid you're going to make a wrong move.
Sure.
It's humiliating if you make a wrong move.
It's terrible.
Got an email here from Josh in Miami. He said, I'm sure you've addressed this at some point in the past, but can you all explain where the name Denny's came from? I know his real name is Josh D. Was he in the witness protection program in his past or something? Thanks for the show. And Jay Bird, stop effing yourself. It's time for a ladybird. Okay.
I don't know who it is.
Ladybird.
Ladybird.
Denny's got that name. I gave it to him because when I first met him and we were starting to work on stuff, he would make food and he would make breakfast sometimes,
In bed.
After we 69.
Yes.
He would make the
It's
best
good time for it.
omelets. But no,
69 and eggs. That sounds awesome.
he would make breakfast, and I would say, "Damn, this is good shit, man. It's better than Denny's," and it just kind of stuck.
Okay.
Denny's.
Denny's.
There you go.
Not the best story.
No, it's cute.
All right, thanks.
Jay Bird
like
loves
it.
nicknames.
I do love nicknames.
Yes, he
Yes.
does.
Diet Pansy.
Yes. Everybody got one around here. Let me see. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder again about the Little Smiles Christmas in July that is going to be going on this Saturday. Santa's going to be in the Heights in Jupiter for a free socially distanced parade. It's kicking off to the Little Smiles Holiday Toy Drive. And you can come on out, bring a new unwrapped toy, or you can just donate. It's simple, too. Just go Little Smiles to 44321.
Yes, and you can help out because the need is massive, and Little Smiles donations, as you can imagine, are in the toilet.
Yeah.
So there are still lots of sick kids with many, many illnesses, cancer, all kinds of stuff is still out there.
That hadn't stopped.
It has not stopped with the coronavirus, and Little Smiles still wants to be able to do the things that we do all year round for sick kids, but we can't without financial help. So please help us because donations are so down.
That's right. So there you go. Thank you very much. All right, we got one more day left, and then we got a weekend.
Yeah, we got bitches. Let's turn it out this weekend. Let's just do it.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, hopefully you guys are going to be joining us tomorrow on the KVJ show, getting that weekend going. Have a good one. Goodbye.
For excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.